When Kobe and I decided to create a podcast and coined it the Father Son Podcast, most would feel this is a gimmick for the podcast, and that couldn't be further from the truth. From the day Kobe was born, I introduced him to video games. This was a way of life for me, as I can remember my father buying me the Odyssey home system, where the cellophane field that clung to the TV determined what game you were playing. Kobe's love for video games grew, as did the bond of a father and a son. When I introduced him to online play, his world opened to new heights. He learned quickly that the incredible gaming experience wasn't just something shared between a father and a son, but there was an entire world that shared his passion for gaming. Gaming was just part of his upbringing, as school or sports was. We always made arrangements that a video game experience was just an arm's length away, even when we went on vacation. As Kobe got older, our experience took us to the road, experiencing events like the Great E3 to more modern events like Summer Game Fest, the Xbox Experience, IGN, and PAX. Kobe graduated from college and now works in the video game industry on the Xbox team. So, as you can see, it was nothing but natural progression to now share our experience and love of the industry through our podcast. Now sit back and enjoy the ride.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Father and Son Gaming Podcast right here on Active Reload Gaming. My name is Kobe, aka Kobe127. That is Kevin, aka Octane699. My screen just went completely haywire, and that's why I did a little bit of a pause. But yeah, we're recording this episode on Sunday, November 23rd, 2025. So if any big news drops on November 24th and we don't address it, you know why? Because I'm going to be out of town, away from my computer, going to see this guy right here. Dad, how you doing?
Not too bad. Getting excited for you and your girlfriend to come home. So going to be pretty pumped to pick you guys up tomorrow.
Yep. And yeah, so today we're actually here. We're going to be celebrating the 20 years of the Xbox 360, a console that we both believe changed gaming forever and changed my life forever too. So, but before we actually get into that, we'd like to remind each and every one of you that you can follow our socials right here at the top. It's a little bit more outdated, but I will roll through everything as usual. On Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and Blue Sky, we're at Active Reload Gaming. Twitter or X and Twitch, we are at ActiveRel. That's with an REL, ActiveRel Gaming. In the top left corner, you can scan our QR code and join our Discord. We're trying to build a community and chat with anyone who wants to talk about gaming. So hop on in, have fun, and just start chatting away. We do have people posting articles every now and then, talk about recent pickups and so on. So yeah, come join us and hang out in the Discord. That being said, the schedule from what we have posted previously has kind of got jumbled around a little bit. Today we were supposed to be going over, I think, our most anticipated games of 2026, but that's being shifted to December 1st because I'm also going to be back at home traveling. So that episode will also be pre-recorded as well. And then we needed to have another slot. So we both love the 360, so it made sense for this, as we've also done a retro breakdown, the PS2 as well. So, but yeah, that being said, the schedule has shifted around a little bit. And on December 8th, we're going to be doing the Game of the Year podcast, our own Game of the Year. So that one, stay tuned for that one. That one's going to be very interesting, as we're going to have a lot of guests come in. So do you have anything else to say that before we start rolling into the 360?
No, I am excited though for the December 8th because we're going to have some really special guests in there. So definitely stay tuned for that because that's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, fully agree. But I would like to talk about what we're actually here for today, which is yesterday, November 22nd, the Xbox 360 turned 20 years old. I was 6 years old. 6 years old when that thing came out. The 360 is retro, and that hurts my soul a little bit because that's the console that I grew up with. But yeah, the 360 turned 20 years old, and I have so many fond memories of the Xbox 360. This was the main console that I grew up on. This was my first console that I had. My parents got it for me, and God, the 360 was, I to this day think, the greatest console in gaming, period. I think that generation of games is truly something special, and the connections that I was able to foster, what the 360 meant to people. There's a lot that we can break down. I want to start with you, Dad, because You are also huge into Xbox 360, and I remember you getting it for the very first time. And we're sitting down. I think one of the first games that we played was Call of Duty 2 on the Xbox 360. So, what is your relationship with the 360? Where did you start with it, and what are your memories of it?
Again, I think the 360 to me was the golden age of gaming because I don't know that we'll go over it today, but go back and take a look at games that were dropping within the same month, like banger after banger after banger. And, 2 and 3 games, from the same franchise would drop. But I just feel that it was a great system. I met some great friends on it. And I think it's where you and I really started to bond on video games.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you talk about great friends. DJ Soto Live of the show, that's where you met him. And you've been
correct,
gaming for well over 20 years as well. So,
correct. Yeah. I just think that it was the golden age in the sense that I think it revolutionized gaming in the sense that it brought community together. Yes, there was LAN parties before. Yes, there was other consoles that had, online play, but nothing like this. Nothing that would bring it into, a community dashboard. Like they revolutionized that. Never did you really get the opportunity to go out and download demos. I wish they bring demos back. I thought demos were outstanding.
even the demo discs that came with the Xbox magazines were absolutely outstanding. When we were digging through the basement the other month back over the summer, we actually found a lot of our old demo discs that we used to have. And I just remember slotting in the demo disc and just rolling through. I one of the biggest games I remember playing that I ended up picking up later on because of the demo disc was John Woo's Stranglehold. I remember playing that demo over and over again. But yeah, the demo discs, and I remember they came in like these very thin cases that were actually attached to the magazine. It's just there was something special about the 360 era that it is a shame. And God, I'm going to sound like an old person now, but the kids these days, obviously, they will never get the experience of what that Xbox 360 generation was like. You talk about meeting your friend. I met my best friend on the 360 through Halo 3. And it's just, I feel like I said, with the demo disc and everything, there was so much interesting things surrounding the Xbox 360 that made it just feel so unique. But yeah, continue what you were saying though.
But I think it's funny. And then it did things like everybody's so excited about the new Steam machine. Oh my goodness, you can change the faceplates. Like
Yeah.
that was huge back in the Xbox 360 day. Being able to show or support the game that you're really playing or your favorite that you could put and make the console a little bit more yours. I know that PlayStation 5 has plates, but nothing like back then. Like you name it, they had a plate for it, you
Yeah.
know? And that's again one of the things. And then, just the communication, being able to get on and just sit. How long did you just sit like it was the telephone back then or the cell phone back then? You just sat and chatted. One of the
I'll,
big things that we loved was for a while you were able to watch a movie
I was
together.
just about to say Netflix's party mode with your Xbox avatars was one of the greatest pieces of tech or software that was ever released because nothing beat like yeah, you can make the movie full screen, but I always wanted to be in the avatar mode because you were able to do emotes with your avatar. Like there was just something special and unique about it that I'm so nostalgic for. And I wish it was still there to this day, but they got rid of that feature a long time ago. I think it only lasted 1 year that thing
Correct.
was around, which was sad to see. Um,
And
as go for it.
I still believe, you're working at Xbox, kind of put a little thing. I think they should do a nostalgia week and bring back some iteration of Blades.
Is
Just
the Blades your favorite dashboard?
hands down. Blades, I think, is everybody's voted, favorite dashboard.
What about the Blades made it perfect for you?
Well, I just think that the layout and the way that it was, denoted, like the little
Yeah.
manila folders, I think it made it easier to find. Today, I still have trouble. Like, okay, where am I redeeming? Where am I going for this? Like,
Yeah.
just different things. I just think Blades was simplistic, but definitely deep enough to find what you wanted to find. And if you really remember, when they came out with Windows Media Center, you were able to coordinate or link that up with your Xbox. And
Yeah.
that was outstanding too. Like that was the first time that I ported my PC, to my Xbox where I'd be able to play my music or watch movies. Cause again, back then it was really new that you could download movies. I used to love downloading music videos. Like I used to have music videos like
You
crazy.
used to also be able to download trailers as well. I remember downloading
Movie
the Gears of War 2 trailer for the very first time. I also remember downloading the E3 demo of Gears of War 2 for the first time. But yeah, there's just something. The Xbox 360 had sauce, and that's what it is. There was an extra layer of sauce added on to the 360, and how it treated its users and the community that it built. And I think that's why, even to this day, obviously Xbox has had a major shift in strategy and everything, but so many people, including myself, like I will always bleed green. Obviously, I do work there, but my opinions don't reflect the company in any way. This is just me growing up and being nostalgic. I will always bleed green because of what Xbox did for me in my social life and the people that I met and the community I was able to foster. Like, even if you go to a lot of these gaming events, like the Xbox community, like it feels very tight knit. Like everyone is just there, happy to be there for the games and the friendships and the bonding that you make a lot of way. It's just, I don't know. There was just something special that I don't think it was a lightning in a bottle moment that I don't think can ever be recreated again. We can get close to trying to recreate it, but there was just something about it. And I think it probably was the software of the games pairing with the technological advancements that the 360 made. And also, I just, the games were fresh and unique back then, and the multiplayer suites that they were offering were fun and they were great. And it fostered a good community to play with.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with, the foresight that Xbox had, like being the first to build Ethernet in.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unheard of. Because I remember when I got it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to get Ethernet now. And for the longest time I was running, they came with the little USB wireless dongle that you can plug into the back of it to do a Wi-Fi until I was able to hardwire my Ethernet to
Yeah.
it. So like they did a lot. Their controller to me revolutionized controllers.
I mean, the
I thought
360 controller was amazing. So,
and again, just going back to what I love, coming out with a special edition 360, like, come on, man. We
yeah.
got to get back to that, and then I'm even saying that for Sony, PlayStation, come on. We got to get back to getting some of those, special editions out because I'll tell you what, we had every special edition that I know of till the other day. I was watching something on YouTube.
We never
I
had the
never
R2D2 one from Star Wars.
No, we did get that one.
Oh, did we?
Yes. The one we did not get, which to me, I didn't even know they made a Resident Evil one.
Oh, interesting. Maybe was it only in Japan?
No, it
Oh.
was again, according to the YouTube, the YouTube video was a United States, a US drop. And I'm like, boy, I never remember it coming out.
So it's funny. I saw a video. I want to ask you this because I saw this video pop up from the oh god, what the hell was the event called? The Zero launch event that where they were releasing the 360, and Peter Moore at the time was talking to Jeff Keighley and was interviewing him, and Peter Moore stated that the 360 had the best launch lineup in the history of games. And I want to read you the launch lineup of the 360, and I want you to tell me if you think this was the greatest launch lineup of all time. Are you okay? Are you ready?
Yep, King Kong's in there because I remember that.
Let me roll down the list. The launch lineup was AMP 3, Call of Duty 2, Condemned Criminal Origins, FIFA 06, Gun, Cameo Elements of Power, Madden 06, NBA 2K6, NBA Live 06, Need for Speed Most Wanted, NHL 2K6, Perfect Dark Zero, King Kong, Project Gotham Racing 3, Quake 4, Ridge Racer 6, Tetris, that was in Japan, Tiger Woods PGA Tour '06, and Tony Hawk's American Wasteland.
Wow. Now, I'm going to just say this in recent memory of what launch titles came out with the most recent consoles, even going back to like the PlayStation 4 era, the Xbox One. Yes, hands down, that's a banger.
Yeah.
I mean, just go back and take a look at Nintendo Switch that just launched. Not even close to that.
Yeah,
I'm only going to the Switch because that's the most recent console out of the three boys that launched.
Yeah, the 360 definitely had a huge influx of titles. I didn't realize how many that they had for launch. A lot of bangers there.
Yes.
But as we're kind of moving into the games themselves, kind of similar to what we did with the PS2 video, IGN released a list called the top 20 games that defined the Xbox 360. I think it'd be fun to go through these because I haven't seen the list. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen the list either. So I'm going to transition over to this. So the IGN and this article was written by Ryan McCaffrey. So let's get through this and see what they think is the top 20 games that define the Xbox 360. And we're going to see if we actually agree with them. Because I know the PS2 video had a lot of heated debates, especially with Nate on the show. So, but let's go. Number 20 is 1 versus 100. This I strongly agree with. 1 versus 100 was an incredible arcade game that I wish they would bring back in some capacity. My friends and I sat on 1 versus 100 for so many hours at night just playing the trivia game and hoping that we would actually become the 100 at one point, because you would see the 1, then you would see the 100 Xbox avatars actually playing for Microsoft points at the time. You would be able to win Microsoft points, but then there was an audience that can also play. And I just remember always playing, hoping, let me get into the 100. Let me get into the 100. I never did, but there's something about 1 versus 100 having that huge multiplayer trivia game lobby that was absolutely spectacular. I strongly agree with this.
Again, this is one of those things. Yes, I thought it was an outstanding game, but do I think that it deserves to be 20? Like maybe 50?
We just talked about how the 360 fostered connection and was built on building connections. This was building connections 100%. I think it defined multiplayer in some aspect.
It was fun. I just don't know that I would put it in the top 20.
Well, we don't know what the other 19 are, so who knows? Move on. Number 19, Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata. I bought it, still have it. I just lost interest in it. Like I played half of it and I thought it got a little boring to me.
I really loved Viva Pinata. I think Viva Pinata was in the golden age of Rare, when Rare was still making these absolutely extravagant games. And, Viva Pinata was just so wildly different. And this is a game to me that also kind of defines what the Xbox 360 was, which was, and we can both agree on this, unique IP. No matter what, every other week, there was something brand new and refreshing coming out from the 360 era. And you would always get weird titles, especially like a Viva Pinata. And I wish games were still like that to this day, where there's these huge creative swings like a Viva Pinata that really, realistically, is it going to be a huge moneymaker? No, but it's fun and it's going to find a certain audience. And I think Viva Pinata, in hindsight, was ahead of its time for what that kind of game was.
And would you say, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, do you think that we owned between 80 and 90% of every title on the 360?
I think we had most of the North American releases. Now, granted, I made an oopsie when I was younger, and I did end up selling a lot of the 360 games. Yeah, hey, you agreed to it. So, totally not my fault. But yeah, we at least at one point, I think, had 90%, I would say. At least I remember you would buy every game coming out.
Correct.
Before we move on with the rest of this list, I just want to kind of get a pulse check here for what do we think the top 5 is? Because here's what I think the top 5 is going to be. Going to be Halo 3. I think Halo 3 is going to be number one.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's the game that defined that, or Halo Reach. I think it's going to be interchangeable between the two. I think Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is going to be there.
I do.
Or Modern Warfare 2, Gears of War, I think is going to be there. I think a Forza is going to be there.
See, I think Forza is going to be in the top 10. I don't think it'll be in the top 5.
And then I think BioShock's going to be in the top 5 as well.
BioShock's definitely going to be in the top 5.
What else do you think's in this list?
See, I think you said it was a launch title. I think a Condemned would be in there. The top 20.
That define the Xbox 360, though? I would put Fear over Xbox 360 for defining it.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't give it enough thought to really say defining games.
Yeah, like we gotta look at the title of the article. The games that defined the Xbox 360. God, I'm trying to think of what else could possibly be on this list. You know, I have a couple deeper picks, but I don't think they would be on here. For example, Kingdom for Keflings. I played a lot of Kingdom for Keflings on the 360. I don't think that's going to be on this list.
What about a Rock Band?
Or Guitar Hero.
Or Guitar Hero. One of those.
I would honestly say Rock Band, because Rock Band was pretty revolutionary for all the instruments coming. I think Rock Band is a good call. Yeah, definitely a Forza Motorsport or Horizon, I think will make this list.
What about Tony Hawk?
I don't remember how American Wasteland was received. I remember the 360 getting the Tony Hawk with the skateboard peripheral that you had to ride, but do you think, let me ask you this, because we totally went over this. Do you think the Kinect is mentioned in this article at all?
No. And again, you got to remember...
The Kinect was a weird time of Xbox 360.
Correct, but it was not part of the launch of the 360.
Yeah, but this is defining the 360. We're not just doing launch titles here. This is defining the entire generation, this article. So this is going through all the years. Oh, another good one is the Orange Box.
The Orange Box.
I think the Orange Box could be on here.
San Andreas. San
Andreas was OG Xbox. It would have been Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5 on the 360.
Okay, then I would have taken 5. Grand Theft is on here in some capacity.
I don't think the Kinect is mentioned because I think the Kinect is kind of a sore spot.
Correct. It had its moments, short-lived.
Yeah.
I used to love walking in and saying, you know, Xbox on, and it used to turn everything on. I used to love doing that.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Moving on. Number 18 is Lost Odyssey.
Ooh, okay.
This was a big JRPG, one of the few Xbox exclusive JRPGs, and I know people, I've never got a chance to play Lost Odyssey, but I know people absolutely love Lost Odyssey. And you know, with Game Awards coming around, Expedition 33's creator stated that Lost Odyssey was a huge inspiration for Expedition 33. So I know this game was pretty awesome for the JRPG genre. I unfortunately never got to play it, but it did have the legendary Final Fantasy creator behind this as well. But yeah, this was definitely probably one of the biggest pushes to capitalize on the Japanese audience by Microsoft by trying to get a huge JRPG out there.
Yeah, and I agree with this being on there because it was an uphill battle for Xbox to break into the Japanese market because there was no JRPG. So
yeah,
you know, so I agree. I 100% agree that this is in the top 20.
Moving on. Number 17. Oh, I forgot about Dead Rising, which, like, I know you're not the biggest Dead Rising fan, but Dead Rising, you know, we talk about games that were fun and unique. Dead Rising is so explicitly Xbox 360, and it mentions here in the article, and I totally forgot, it was an Xbox 360 exclusive, Dead Rising 1. So I absolutely adore Dead Rising. I don't like the later entries like 3, 4, but 1 and 2 are amazing, and I absolutely love them. And I think just trying to recreate old zombie movies with a lot of slapstick comedy in Dead Rising, putting you in the mall, just being locked in there. Having the timer always counting down was a very stressful mechanic added to the game, where you had to beat the game in X amount of hours, or your run is completely screwed, or you get a different kind of ending. I think Dead Rising absolutely belongs here, because I think this just shows what the generation of 360 was.
And I also think that it showed how powerful 360 was, putting all of the characters on a screen. That was a big thing
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, I
That was
mean,
a really big thing.
I agree. Like, the amount of zombies on the screen, obviously in today's standards, is like, oh, there's not that many. But for the 360 standards, the amount of zombies that they were able to render was huge. So
Yeah, and that was a big touting of the Xbox 360's power, is getting more, people on the screen than most. Because I
yeah,
know that was a big tout for, I think it was Gears 2, that they touted of how many they can get on the screen now
I
at
mean,
once.
well, whenever Gears shows up, I do want to talk about Gears too. But I want to quickly ask, because we know Gears is going to be on here. Do you think it's 1 or 2?
It's gotta be 1, because I just think that, and for those of you that are a little too young to know this, like, the hype that Gears brought to Xbox, like, that was a massive console seller. Like, you couldn't turn on TV without seeing commercials. There was billboards, there was everything.
Yeah,
Like, that was massive, massive hype for Xbox. So it's gotta be 1, even though I'd like 2 better than 1, but
same.
one is what set it apart, and there was nothing graphic-wise that you would have ever seen
Yeah.
before Gears like that.
Number 16, Geometry Wars Retro
Yo,
Evolved.
this was a banger.
Yeah, Geometry Wars was sick. And I remember, you talk about things being rendered on screen. Just this picture alone shows that the amount of particles on screen that you were able to blast around, like Geometry Wars. And, the first 3 words saying, we totally forgot to mention, Xbox Live Arcade was probably the best addition to the Xbox marketplace. I remember the summer of arcade being so excited for the big 5 games that they would release for the summer of arcade. Remember, Castle Crashers was part of that. Trials HD was one of them. Castlevania Symphony of the Night was added. I think one was called Hydro Fusion. Explosion Man was another one. Yeah, I absolutely adore. Oh, Monday Night Football. Holy shit, Monday Night Football was a sick game. But Xbox Live Arcade it's just not around anymore. But I think the culture around Xbox Live Arcade was absolutely amazing. And Geometry Wars is a prime example of the Xbox Live Arcade.
I think that if I go back in my memory, and I have my Xbox back here with my probably has all this stuff on it. I think Geometry Wars was the first arcade game I downloaded.
Yeah, Geometry Wars was sick, and there's still games to this day that kind of mimic or are influenced by Geometry Wars. This was a great title.
Outstanding. And yes, I did forget about the Xbox Live Arcade. That was just tremendous.
Yeah,
Trials, like you said, was great.
yeah,
Geometry Wars. There was a lot of good games that came out of that. And when you were kind of in that lull between games, you'd go on Live Arcade and find something within
yeah,
minutes to play.
yeah. Next up, 15, Ninja Gaiden 2, which 100% agree with. Ninja Gaiden 2 was an absolute banger of a game. And we talk about the hack and slash genre, but we also got to remember, and it says in the article, that PlayStation had God of War, the Xbox wanted Ninja Gaiden. So having the modern revival of Ninja Gaiden come to the Xbox 360 was absolutely massive, and also trying to push into the Japanese market as well. Ninja Gaiden 2 should absolutely be here.
100%. Again, very good hack and slash.
Number 14 is Braid. We talked about the Xbox Live Arcade, and I remember Braid making a huge splash. And now I'm starting to think, is Super Meat Boy going to be on this list as well? Because Super Meat Boy was another huge one on the arcade. But I remember DJ telling you about Braid. He played through Braid. He's like, holy crap, this game is insane. And he's like, the story about it is absolutely wild. And yeah, I remember people absolutely popping off for for Braid. And even in the article, it says, if you say the word Summer of Arcade, it brings up positive memories for you. Yeah, and Braid was part of the Summer of Arcade. And I remember this game being pretty revolutionary for a 2D side scroller where you were able to do time manipulation with this. This one was pretty sick. I never got to play Braid, but I know a lot of people loved it.
It's funny we talk about there's no more live arcade, but here there's 2 of them already in the top 20.
Yeah, it just shows how important it was.
Correct.
Number 13 is Crackdown.
Yes, there's my boy right there. I loved Crackdown. And I know, like, Crackdown 2 and Crackdown 3 get a lot of grief. I love 2 and 3. This is a franchise that I wish they would, revitalize or remaster, remake, which I know it'll never happen. But I loved Crackdown. To me, it was one of the art style that it brought and the game mechanics I thought were just so perfect. And then I think they shot for the sky. Was it in Crackdown 3 where they were going to have cloud computing?
Yeah.
And it kind of crashed everything.
Yeah.
That they just couldn't, their vision couldn't be seen the way they wanted it with the cloud computing. And, Terry Crews was in it, which I loved. So that was a thing. But Crackdown I can't believe I didn't think about this when you were asking me what games they should be on here. But yeah. Crackdown definitely deserves to be on here. Now it makes me want to go back and play this.
The Crackdown 1 doesn't hold up as much as it used to. Like, it definitely is rough around the edges. And the quick thing I want to mention is it was awesome that it came with the beta code for Halo 3. So that's what really pushed Crackdown for people. But yeah, I agree. Crackdown was a great game. I have a lot of fond memories with it. Just being able to get your agility to 6 and swinging up skyscrapers with just one jump was absolutely awesome.
Let me tell you, you talk about nostalgia. You saying that, and I can hear in my head
the orb popping.
The sound of the orb popping is one of the achievements popping on Xbox is one that I'll never forget because I love that sound. And the orb popping, when you got an orb, I can hear it right now.
Yeah.
But you talk about nostalgia, there it goes.
Number 12, Forza Motorsport 3. There we go. I mean, I'm not big into the Forza series. I'm just not a racing person, but I knew Forza was going to be here in some capacity. So glad to see that it's here. Forza is a generational racer.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a racer either, but I respect what Forza's done for Xbox and what it's done for the industry.
Yeah.
I look at the new Forzas all the time and I'm like, the graphics are just banging on those things, man. So I respect what they've done, even though I'm not a fan.
Number 11, Left 4 Dead. I'm surprised I didn't think about Left 4 Dead. I love Left 4 Dead so much. It is, to me, the co-op PvE shooter, but the versus mode. Oh my God, versus on Left 4 Dead was so good, being able to take control of the special infected, placing yourselves around the map and hunting down the players as they go through the campaign and actually fighting off against one another. Left 4 Dead is one of probably the best co-op shooter of all time, I would say. Left 4 Dead, there's just something special that Valve was able to do with Left 4 Dead that just made the game absolutely memorable.
When I go back in my memory of Left 4 Dead, like you and Kyle, like that's what I would think that you guys were playing a lot of. So Left 4 Dead, I definitely see should be on this because I agree it was one of the better shooter co-ops.
But before we get into the last 10, I would like to take a quick word from our website. Got games you don't play anymore? Turn that collection into cash at ActiveReloadGaming.com. It's fast, it's easy, and you get paid quick. Or if you are looking to buy, check us out on eBay or scroll through our Games by Console. Find us at ActiveReloadGaming.com. And we are back. We're in the top 10 now, so let's see what Ryan McCaffrey's got cooking up on IGN. Number 10 is Limbo.
Wow, Limbo.
Probably the defining game of the arcade, I would say. I remember everyone just popping off when Limbo came out saying this is a revolutionary game. And I totally forgot about Limbo. So that's the crazy thing. 3 of the top 20 defining games on this list is from the Xbox Live Arcade. Maybe we should bring it back.
Yeah, what's that telling you? That's what I'm saying. It should be brought back if you're saying that these were
Well,
3 games defining
the
a
the
console.
only thing that I can think of in today's standards is the Xbox Live Arcade has become ID at Xbox, but I feel like there's just isn't that sauce related around ID at Xbox. Like Xbox Live Arcade had that sauce behind it that when something went on there, you know it was special. Obviously, you know, we have indie games. You can go on Steam, you can go on the Xbox Marketplace, PlayStation Marketplace, Switch. You can buy these types of games. They're always out there, but I think it was the marketing around these games with the arcade backing it that made it feel like it's something extra. And then that's what I'm getting at.
Well, let me ask you this, and this I feel really stupid because again, like you, I do bleed green. But on the new Xbox, is there an ID section?
I mean, there is an indie selection that you can go to on the store.
See, you're back to the marketing. I didn't know that, and I can't tell you that I've ever visited it. Now you go back to the live arcade. I think I was on that every week.
Yeah, they had like a very special section with the all the marketing around it. So like I said, I think there's a way to kind of have the sauce here repeated, but there's just something missing from today's standard.
I agree.
There it is. Number 9 is Rock Band. We knew it was going to pop up in some way. God, we still have all the old instruments in our house. I remember playing Rock Band for the very first time, and you know, I had Guitar Hero too, but there was something special about Rock Band of opening up all the instruments and being able to have the full band play. Like you had your karaoke, you had your guitars, you had your drum set.
Keyboards, keyboards.
The keyboard came with Rock Band 3. Rock Band 1, I think, was only the bass, the normal guitar, the drums, and the microphone. I think that was it. And there was just, it was awesome. And honestly, probably one of the best party games of all time. Like Rock Band is just, it had a killer soundtrack. For a rhythm game, it played well. The multiplayer was great. Having everyone in it playing on Xbox 360 multiplayer was pretty damn cool.
Here's what I remember the best about it is like if you had the drums, the guitars set up and everything else, you can have different levels for each instrument. Like we would have Kobe's mother, my wife, she'd be able to play with us at the easy level where Kobe and I might be at a harder level. That's what I really liked about it, that it did keep that family idea in there and, entry level. The barrier to entry was easy for people to do.
Yeah, that's for sure. Number 8. Oh, yeah, of course. Oblivion. Because this was, Oblivion was not an exclusive to the 360 because I think it was out on PC as well. But yeah, Oblivion was the first big Bethesda RPG on this generation of console. Obviously, Bethesda has a good relationship with Microsoft because they were able to get Morrowind on the original Xbox, but Oblivion was groundbreaking for an RPG. Now I'm starting to question: is Fallout 3 going to be on this list or New Vegas? Because we have 7 more to go.
Fallout 3 has to be on here.
But do you agree with Oblivion being here? You just recently played Oblivion for the first time with the remake. I remember you weren't so hot on Oblivion when it first came out, but now that you gotten older, you got wise to the RPG genre. You actually came around and really enjoyed Oblivion for what it is.
Absolutely loved it. And, again, people will scoff at me, but like, I don't think I've ever finished Skyrim either because I wasn't into that. Now the Fallout, total different story, but now I can't wait for the next iteration of Skyrim, which will eventually come because they put it on everything. Because I would play that again as well, or play it for the first time. But yes, Oblivion definitely should be on here. And I love the remake. Finished that, loved it.
And also, like, I remember the graphics of this time. I remember people like, holy crap, this looks so realistic. And the gameplay was able to back up the graphics. And I remember just the dozens of hours of going through dungeons and also opening up Oblivion gates and seeing the colors and storming the Oblivion gates for the first time on the 360. It was an amazing feat for what that console was. And they were able to pack on a lot in this package. And obviously, I just think Oblivion had an incredible quest design, and it really was a generational RPG for consoles. And I think it made like Morrowind got like that kind of RPG that was mainly locked to PC on console, and Oblivion perfected it. And
I agree.
forward. Number 7. Okay, it's not top 5, but it's here. BioShock. I mean, we both love BioShock, and I'll just let you take away this one because BioShock's one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah, BioShock, the series, is one of my favorite franchises. I just absolutely fell in love with this. The best way that I can equate it, for the 360, this was The Last of Us. Great game. Story was incredible. The writers of this game, the twists of it, you never saw it coming. So again, it was an action first person shooter with a story that rivaled Last of Us.
Yeah.
So again, this is one, and I know you'll keep saying it's coming, and I see it too, but it's not coming quick enough. They need to revive this franchise. They really do. I mean, this is the biggest franchise, in my opinion, that needs to be revived. Well over, like, I know they stopped it, but bringing back a Perfect Dark or things of that nature. This needs to be put on the front burner. Whoever needs to get out there and push this.
Rod Ferguson left Diablo now to go finish BioShock. So
correct. But I haven't heard much more about it.
Well, I know it went through a lot of development troubles, and I think it's kind of doing a reset now. But Rod Ferguson is known to be the finisher. He comes in and he finishes the game. So I do think under Ferguson's leadership, we will see BioShock 4 in the near future.
And just to let you know, the speculation is it might be like on, Antarctica or somewhere snowy. That's.
I've also read space, but then I know Judas is going to be in space, which is also a Ken Levine game. So we'll see. But there is at least a BioShock-esque game coming out soon with Judas, which is Ken Levine's next project, which he made BioShock. So
correct.
Number 6 is Fable 2. We totally didn't talk about Fable.
Missed Fable. I love this. This is one of my best friends, I'll never forget, lives down in North Carolina. We were down there and he was playing this. And I'm like, dude, what the heck's this? I knew Fable 1, but Fable 2. And I ended up getting so engrossed in this game that I bought it down there. I couldn't wait to get home. I played the crap out of Fable 2.
Yeah, you and I both bought copies. And I think that the first line that this article says right here is true. This was the Xbox 360's Zelda. Fable 2 was so good. It, like, as an RPG, it had so much freedom to it. And I remember just getting lost in this world. And yeah, like even the co-op in Fable 2 was actually pretty stellar as well.
Now, was Fable 2 the one that you could see the player's orbs?
Yes.
Or was that 3?
That was 2.
Yeah, that was revolutionary too, that you'd be playing and you would see an orb go by, and that was a live player somewhere else playing. I thought was outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, you can even see that mechanic implemented in other games. Like I know Dark Souls, you do see like the spirits of players roaming around. Like Fable 2 was pretty, I think another theme that we see in this list is a lot of these games were revolutionary in some way. They've all done something that was pretty spectacular. I also remember having the dog companion in Fable 2 was outstanding. So
yeah, I agree.
Number 5 is GTA 4.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say about it? It's Grand Theft. It's got to be on everybody's list at some point.
Yeah.
If you're making a list of games that set something, a Rockstar game has to be in it, whether it's Red Dead or it's Grand Theft. So, like, I'm not even going to beat this one to death because everybody knows that Grand Theft should be on this list.
Yep. And Grand Theft Auto 4, to me, I love the multiplayer suite, just sticking around with friends, just running around, grabbing cars, making up our own mini games. And to all those who used to play it, nothing beats the swing set glitch, where you were able to drive a car up the middle of the swing set and get flung across the map and somehow live. It was amazing. Number 4, here it is, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Yeah, I mean, we all know, we all beat the drum that Call of Duty needs to go back to this kind of era of game. But Call of Duty 4, moving from World War II into Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, amazing. One of the best multiplayer games of all time. I loved Modern Warfare. The campaign was absolutely stellar. The multiplayer was stellar. Custom matches was stellar. Everything about this game was just amazing. So much that Call of Duty 4, like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare really set the path of what multiplayer shooters is going to be.
Okay, there's 3 left.
Yeah.
So we know it's got to be Halo. We know it's got to be Gears. What's the because it can't be Call of Duty too.
Yeah. We're gonna see.
Okay.
Are you getting nervous?
Yeah. Well, Gears has to be on here. In fact, if it was up to me, it would be number one. But I know Halo's going to be
Mass
Mass
Effect.
Effect. Wow.
I mean, it was an Xbox 3 exclusive. And Mass Effect is one of the greatest RPGs of all. I love Mass Effect. The Mass Effect trilogy is absolutely stellar. Yeah, Mass Effect, from the writing to the characters to the world, the gameplay was a little stiff, and I think driving the vehicle in that game was pretty bad. But everything else surrounding Mass Effect 1 was just at such a high quality that really made BioWare to me.
Yeah, Mass Effect, I never really got into. I tried, but recently, within the last 3 months, I bought the trilogy
Yeah.
again, and I've been trying to play it again. It's just, I don't know. I, I get why it's here. It's just not a fan favorite.
And I know you're not like a space opera person,
I'm not.
so
I'm really not.
and I am. And Mass Effect is just insane. I love the relationships. Like I said, the characters. The characters is what makes Mass Effect so special. All
Let me go
right.
out on a limb before you move. I'm upset that Fallout's not on this.
Yeah. But I'm fine with Oblivion being there.
I would put Fallout instead of Mass Effect.
It definitely comes down to preference, but I think Mass Effect to define the 360 belongs here a little bit more than Fallout because it was an exclusive. But final two, gonna be Halo and Gears. Let's just see which one ends where. Number 2 is Gears of War. Gears of War 1 specifically. Yeah, you've already talked about Gears of War 1 a lot. You said it even in our Gears Remastered review. Gears it pioneered pretty much the cover-based shooting. Like this cover-based shooting was the thing, but it really made it snappy. It made it fluid. I remember the graphics of Unreal Engine 3. Like everyone was just praising how good it looked, the grittiness of it. I'm always a Gears 2 fan over Gears 1, but Gears 1 is still a pretty great game.
As am I. And again, for those that don't know, like Gears of War actually changed Xbox 360. They needed more memory in it. And Gears of War actually forced them to put more memory in it to run this game. So, yeah, hands down. And I knew it would be second. I mean,
yeah, because number 1 is Halo 3. Like when I think 360, I think Halo 3. Halo 3, like I know people will say Reach is the better game, but to me, I started on Halo 3 on the 360, and Halo 3 is where I made my lifelong friends. It's where I have some of the most fond gaming memories of all time. Forge mode being introduced, custom games, the multiplayer suite. Halo 3, to me, is a perfect video game. I have no qualms with it. I have so much. I could, be looking through rose tinted glasses, but to me, Halo 3 was a perfect video game, from the campaign with 4-player co-op to being able to make your own custom maps in Forge mode, to being to take those maps and implement a custom game on top of it with custom rule sets, being able to go to the file share and download the most popular maps and game modes of the week or the month. And then some of the greatest multiplayer maps and design of all time. Halo 3 is outstanding.
I couldn't say anything different because there's some I want you to leave with and think about. Here you have in the top 5-ish, you have Call of Duty, Gears of War, and Halo. What did they do to these franchises?
Well, they all went through a huge change, and I am disappointed of where some of these games are at, but it is what it is.
Again, I would take the 360 over any console. I'd debate it to the day I die that it was the greatest console of all time.
So you agree that this is the greatest console of all time?
Hands down.
I think I would agree too. And do you agree with this list of the top 20 games that define the Xbox 360?
No, but I would agree with about 80 to 90% of it.
So there's just a couple additions or removals you would make. I think. So what would you put in place of 1 versus 100, and what would you put in? I know you said Fallout over Mass Effect, but what would you put as the number 20?
I would have to look at all the games to kind of really pull it. Again, I'd put a Fear in there. I would definitely put a Fallout in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to just quickly look here. I want to scroll. I was a big Command and Conquer fan. I absolutely loved Command and Conquer. I'm just scrolling through my Xbox here to see what else was even around in the 360 era that I would put there.
I'm just pleased that they put Crackdown in.
I would have put the orange box in there.
Orange box would go in there.
Yeah, I think the big one I would have put was probably the orange box. I think that one would have been absolutely stellar to put in there. But I think I was happy with this list overall. That being said, that's 20 years of Xbox 360. I can't believe it's that. It's retro. That hurts my soul. But
I think my hair was brown.
It was
when that came out. And we'll leave you with this. There was even times that, the thing with the Xbox 360 that I bring back as well is the standing for the midnight releases and all that stuff. And, I can remember Kobe could attest to this. There was an Xbox dropping. I think it might have been the Xbox Elite dropping. We rented a hotel right next to the Best Buy so that we could be in line right there. And, again, they're just things that bring back a ton of nostalgia. Like, I really miss those midnight releases. I got a little bit of that with the Switch too. Like, I stood at a GameStop to get it, but there was 10 people, nothing like the midnight releases for Call of Duties or, Halo. I mean, I think the one Call of Duty we brought you to, you entered one of the
it was Black Ops when I entered the tournament.
Tournament and won too.
And won. Yeah.
How old were you, approximate?
God, was Black Ops 1 2010? I was definitely very young.
Yeah, 10 or 12 years old, maybe.
Yeah. So a lot of good memories from the 360, and I hope gaming can find some of the juice that 360 had, and the PS3 and the Wii at some point in time. But that being said, let me know in the comments later on, or if you were watching this live, what you thought about the 360. Was this your favorite console? Is there any other console that you liked more? And is there any generation of games that you liked more? That being said, we are the Father and Son Gaming Podcast. You can find us right here on all of our socials. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky, Spotify, Twitter, and Twitch. Up in the top left corner is our Discord. You can scan that, hop on in, start chatting with us. We talk about things like this in there all the time. And we are live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, with a new topic each and every week. And with that being said, we will see you guys next time, and have a good holiday if you're celebrating in the U.S., because it is the Thanksgiving this week for U.S. folks. So with that, we will see you all next time.